I told myself to stay calm, but my hands trembled as I gripped the boarding pass. Flight 847 to Phoenix. 3 weeks. My daughter Sarah hadn't answered a video call in 3 weeks. I know what you're thinking. Why didn't I call sooner? Sarah was 35, independent, fierce. She'd moved to Phoenix 6 months ago for that marketing director position she'd worked so hard for. Mom, she'd said during our last real conversation, I finally have the life I always wanted. Stop worrying so much. So I gave her space. I told myself she was busy with work, busy with Emma, busy building her new life. When the video calls stopped and she switched to texts, only short, clipped messages, I told myself it was normal. She's adjusting. She's overwhelmed. She needs breathing room. But a mother knows. You carry your child under your heart for 9 months. That connection never breaks. It doesn't matter if they're 5 or 35. You feel their absence like a missing limb. The text felt wrong. Sarah always used exclamation points, always added heart emojis when she mentioned Emma. These new messages were cold, flat, busy at work. Can't talk. Emma's fine. I tried calling the school to check on Emma. They said she'd been absent for a week. Family emergency, they'd been told. My stomach dropped. I called Sarah immediately. No answer. I texted. The school said Emma's been out for a week. What's going on? The reply came 2 hours later. She had the flu. She's better now. Stop checking up on me. That's when I knew. Sarah would never snap at me like that, and she would never keep Emma home for a week without telling me. She'd call me in a panic if Emma had so much as a fever. I tried the non-emergency police line on day 19. The dispatcher was patient but firm. Ma'am, she's an adult. She's responding to your messages. Unless there's evidence of immediate danger, we can't conduct a wellness check. But the texts don't sound like her. Has she threatened self-harm? Is there evidence of a crime? No, but then we can't help you. I'm sorry. I hung up feeling helpless. I called Sarah's workplace. Her assistant said she'd been working from home due to a family situation. I asked which situation. The assistant didn't know. 3 weeks. 21 days of that gnawing feeling in my gut, that voice whispering something's wrong, something's terribly wrong. So I bought the ticket. I didn't tell Sarah I was coming. Something told me not to. The plane touched down at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. Phoenix heat hit me like a wall when I stepped outside. Sarah's apartment was in North Scottsdale, a nice complex with palm trees and a pool. I'd helped her move in 6 months ago, back when everything was normal. I rang the doorbell. No answer. I knocked. Nothing. I called her phone. It rang inside the apartment, but nobody picked up. Can I help you? A man's voice behind me. I turned. He was tall, maybe 40, with a smile that didn't reach his eyes. Dark hair, expensive watch, the kind of confident stance that some people find charming and others find unsettling. I fell into the latter category immediately. I'm looking for Sarah Mitchell. I'm her mother. His smile widened. Barbara, right? Sarah's told me so much about you. I'm Marcus, her boyfriend. She's not here right now. She took Emma to visit a friend in Tucson. Should be back Thursday. Every word felt wrong. Sarah hated Tucson. She didn't have friends there. And why would this Marcus person be at her apartment when she wasn't? Oh, when did they leave? I kept my voice light. Yesterday morning. Last minute thing, you know how Sarah is spontaneous. He was blocking the doorway, I realized, not letting me see inside. I'll just wait for her then. I've come all this way. I moved toward the door. He stepped to the side, but his hand stayed on the doorframe. She didn't mention you were coming. Mothers don't need invitations. I pushed past him. The apartment felt wrong immediately. Too quiet. Too still. Sarah's plants by the window were wilted, dying. She loved those plants. She'd never let them get like this. The kitchen counter had a thin layer of dust. Mail piled up by the door, unopened. This wasn't someone who'd left yesterday. This was someone who'd been gone for weeks. I should probably go, Marcus said behind me. Tell Sarah I stopped by to water the plants. He moved toward the door quickly, too quickly. You're doing a terrible job with the plants, I said, watching him. He laughed, but it was hollow. Yeah, I'm not great with that stuff. Anyway, nice meeting you. He was out the door before I could respond. I stood in the middle of Sarah's living room and felt my heart hammering. The air smelled stale, wrong. I walked through the apartment slowly. Sarah's bedroom bed made, clothes in the closet, but her toothbrush wasn't in the bathroom. Her favorite jacket wasn't on the back of her desk chair where she always kept it. Emma's room, pink walls, stuffed animals on the bed, and that's when I heard it. A small sound. A whimper. Coming from the closet. "Emma?" My voice cracked. "Sweetie, are you in there?" Silence. Then another sound, definitely coming from the closet. I walked over slowly, my heart pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. I reached for the closet door handle. It was locked from the outside. Who locks a closet door? "Emma, baby, it's Grandma. I'm going to open the door, okay?" I had to break the lock. I grabbed a hammer from Sarah's toolkit and smashed it. The door swung open. And there she was. My 7-year-old granddaughter, crouched in the back corner of the closet, filthy, terrified, clutching an empty water bottle. Her hair was matted. Her princess pajamas were stained. Her eyes, God, her eyes looked ancient. "Emma." I fell to my knees and reached for her. She flinched. "Sweetie, it's Grandma. You're safe now. You're safe." She stared at me for a long moment. Then she whispered, so quietly I almost couldn't hear. "He said you weren't real. He said I was imagining you." I pulled her into my arms. She was shaking. I was shaking. "I'm real, baby. I'm here. You're safe now." "Mommy," she whispered against my shoulder. I heard her scream. Everything went cold. "Where's your mommy, Emma?" "He took her. In the night." I heard. She started sobbing, these terrible silent sobs like she'd been crying so long she'd run out of sound. I held her and called 911 with trembling fingers. The police arrived in 7 minutes. 2 officers, 1 young woman named Officer Ramirez, who immediately knelt down to Emma's level, speaking softly. "Hi, sweetie. I'm Officer Ramirez. You're very brave. Can you tell me your name?" Emma pressed against me but whispered, "Emma Rose Mitchell." "That's a beautiful name." "Emma, how long have you been in the closet?" She held up 3 fingers, then 4, then looked confused. "A few days?" Officer Ramirez asked gently. Emma nodded. The other officer, older and gruff, looked at me. "You're the grandmother?" I explained everything. The 3 weeks of weird texts. Sarah not answering video calls. The school saying Emma was absent. Marcus being at the apartment. The locked closet. "Ma'am, we need to find your daughter. But first, we need to get Emma to a hospital." "No," Emma grabbed my shirt. "Don't leave me, Grandma, please. I'm coming with you, baby. I promise." At the hospital, Emma was dehydrated, malnourished, but physically okay. Mentally well, that was another story. She barely spoke. When she did, it was in whispers. The trauma counselor said it was shock. Detective Morrison arrived at the hospital that evening. He was in his 50s, with kind eyes and a notebook full of questions. "Mrs. Mitchell, I need to ask Emma some questions. You can stay with her." Emma sat in the hospital bed, holding my hand so tight my fingers went numb. The detective pulled up a chair. "Emma, I know this is scary, but I need to help your mommy. Can you tell me what happened?" Emma's voice was so small. "Uncle Marcus came over for dinner. Mommy made spaghetti. I was supposed to go to bed, but I was thirsty. I came back out and..." She stopped. "Take your time, sweetie." They were fighting. Uncle Marcus was yelling about money. Mommy said she was going to the police, that she found out about his lies. He grabbed her. Emma's tears started again. I ran back to my room. I heard Mommy scream. I heard the door slam. Then it was quiet. "When was this, Emma?" "My birthday was the next day. But nobody came. I waited all day. I tried to open my door, but it was locked. I called for Mommy, but she didn't come." Detective Morrison looked at me. "When is her birthday?" "April 15th, I whispered. 3.5 weeks ago." "Emma, you've been locked in your room for over 3 weeks?" She nodded. "Uncle Marcus came sometimes. He brought me crackers and water. He said Mommy went away. He said if I told anyone, he'd hurt Mommy more. He said he'd make me disappear too." She looked at me with those ancient eyes. But I heard her scream, "Grandma, she didn't just go away." The detective stood. "Mrs. Mitchell, can I speak with you outside?" In the hallway, his face was grim. "We're treating this as a kidnapping and possible homicide. This Marcus, what's his last name?" "I don't know. Sarah only mentioned him a couple times. They'd been dating for 2 months, she said. Met on a dating app. Do you have photos?" I didn't. Sarah had never sent any. We're going to search the apartment, and we need to find this Marcus before he realizes the girl's been found. They found him 6 hours later, trying to board a flight to Mexico City using a fake passport. In his car, they found Sarah's phone, her wallet, her driver's license. They found Sarah 2 days later. I was staying at a hotel near the hospital when Detective Morrison called. "Mrs. Mitchell, I need you to come to the station." I got a neighbor to sit with Emma. The detective's face told me everything before he opened his mouth. "We found her. I'm so sorry." The Desert Preserve, 30 miles outside Phoenix. Shallow grave. She'd been dead for 3 weeks. Blunt force trauma to the head. The medical examiner said it was quick. I hope that's true. I desperately hope that's true. Marcus Reeves, that was his real name, 39 years old, record in 3 states, fraud, identity theft, and suspected in 2 other missing women cases, Melissa Hart in Oregon 2 years ago, and Jennifer Wu in Colorado 4 years ago. Both women had been dating him. Both had life insurance policies. Both disappeared. No bodies were ever found, until now. Sarah had a life insurance policy through her work. $250,000. Beneficiary listed as emergency contact, which Marcus had convinced her to update to him just 2 weeks before he killed her. "In case something happens when Emma's with her dad," he'd said. Sarah's ex-husband lived in Chicago. She'd thought she was being practical. The detective showed me the evidence. Marcus had been living in Phoenix under a fake identity for 8 months. He targeted successful single mothers on dating apps. He'd done this before. Sarah was just the first time he'd been caught. The trial took 4 months. I got custody of Emma immediately. Her father, Sarah's ex, had remarried and had 2 new kids. He signed away his rights without much fight. I don't think he ever really bonded with Emma. His loss. Emma and I moved into a small house in Tempe, close to a good school with an excellent trauma counseling program. She started therapy twice a week. For the first month, she barely spoke. She slept in my room, in a sleeping bag on the floor, because she was terrified of closed doors. The trial was brutal. They didn't make Emma testify, thank God. The evidence was overwhelming. Marcus had Sarah's blood in his car trunk, her DNA under his fingernails. Security footage of him putting a large duffel bag in his trunk the night she died. Emma's testimony to the police recorded gently by specialists about hearing her mother scream. He sat there in court, emotionless. His lawyer tried to claim Sarah had attacked him first, that it was self-defense. The jury didn't buy it. Not after they heard about Melissa and Jennifer. Not after they saw the photos of Emma, locked in that closet, starving. Marcus Reeves was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. He'll die in prison. It's not enough. Nothing could ever be enough. But it's something. The hardest part was telling Emma her mother wasn't coming back. She was in therapy for 2 months before we had that conversation. Her therapist, Dr. Chen, helped me find the words. We were in the backyard of our new house. Emma was watering the garden. I'd planted tomatoes, strawberries, flowers. She'd taken to gardening. Dr. Chen said it helped her feel in control of something. "Grandma," she said, not looking at me. "Mommy's dead, isn't she?" I could have lied. Could have said she was sleeping, or in heaven, or any of the gentle euphemisms we use for children, but Emma had seen too much. She deserved truth. "Yes, baby, she is." Emma kept watering the tomatoes. "Uncle Marcus killed her." "Yes." "Is he going to kill me too?" "No, never. He's in prison, Emma. He can't hurt anyone ever again. And I promise you with everything I am, I will keep you safe. Always." She finally looked at me. "Do you promise? Like Mommy used to?" Sarah used to do this thing with Emma, pinky promises, but they'd hook their whole hands together and say promise like it was a magic spell. I held out my hand. Emma hooked her fingers with mine. Promise, I said. That night, she slept in her own bed for the first time. Left the door open, left all the lights on, but she slept in her own room. Progress. It's been a year now. Emma is 8. She still has nightmares. She still sees Dr. Chen every week. She still won't go near closets without someone with her. But she laughs sometimes now. Real laughs. She made friends at school. She's learning piano. She wants to be a veterinarian when she grows up. We talk about Sarah every day. I show Emma photos. We cook Sarah's recipes together, those terrible burnt cookies Sarah used to make, the spaghetti Emma mentioned from that last night. Emma needs to remember her mother as more than just the scream she heard. She needs to remember Sarah's laugh, Her terrible singing in the car, the way she'd do silly dances in the kitchen. I'm 70 now. Sometimes I worry, what if I get sick? What if I can't be here for Emma? So I take care of myself. I exercise. I eat right. I take my medications. I have a will, a trust, everything set up. Emma will be taken care of no matter what. My sister asks me sometimes if I blame myself for not calling sooner. The truth? Yes. Every single day. I replay those 3 weeks over and over. What if I'd flown out after 2 weeks? After 1 week? What if I'd insisted the police do a wellness check? What if? But Dr. Chen, who I see too, now reminds me, you did everything a reasonable person would do. Marcus was a professional. He'd done this before. He knew how to manipulate people, how to deflect suspicion. You saved Emma's life by trusting your instincts and getting on that plane. Maybe she's right. Maybe I did the best I could with the information I had. But I'll never stop wondering if I could have saved Sarah too. Here's what I want other mothers, other grandmothers to know. Trust your gut. That feeling that something's wrong? It's usually right. Don't let anyone tell you you're overreacting. Don't let anyone make you feel like you're being intrusive or overbearing. Our children need us to be nosy. They need us to ask questions. They need us to show up when something feels off. And if you have adult children who are dating, talk to them about red flags. Sarah was smart, successful, cautious, but Marcus knew exactly how to seem safe. He had a fake job, fake references, fake everything. He was charming. He love-bombed her gifts, attention, promises. By the time she saw the truth, it was too late. Dating apps can be wonderful. They can also be hunting grounds for predators. Do video calls before meeting in person. Google their name, their number, their email. Trust your instincts. If something feels off, it probably is. And for God's sake, don't update your life insurance beneficiary after 2 months of dating. Emma and I went to Sarah's grave last week. We planted flowers, daisies, Sarah's favorite. Emma stood there for a long time, not saying anything. Finally, she whispered, "I miss you, Mommy. Grandma's taking good care of me." She promised. I put my hand on her shoulder. "Your mom loved you so much, Emma. Every single day she loved you." "I know," Emma said. Then, "Grandma? When I grow up, I want to help other kids like me. Kids who are scared. Is that okay?" "That's more than okay, baby. That's beautiful." We walked back to the car hand in hand. The Phoenix sun was setting, painting the sky purple and gold. Emma looked up at me. "Grandma?" "Yes, sweetie? I'm glad you came. I'm glad you found me." "Me too, baby. Me too." I think about that closet sometimes. About how many days Emma sat there in the dark, scared, alone, waiting for someone to find her. About how close we came to never finding her at all. If I hadn't trusted my instincts, if I hadn't gotten on that plane, if Marcus had succeeded in fleeing to Mexico, I would have lost both of them. But Emma is here. She's alive. She's healing. And every day, every single day, I look at her and think, this is why I didn't give up. This is why I listened to that voice inside me that said something's wrong. This is why mothers never stop worrying, never stop checking, never stop knowing. Sarah, wherever you are, I hope you know, I'm keeping my promise. I'm raising your daughter with all the love I have. She'll know her worth. She'll know her strength. She'll know that she survived something terrible and came out the other side. She'll know that her mother died protecting her, because that's what those texts were, I realize now. Sarah trying to keep Marcus away from Emma, keep him focused on her instead. Your last act was love. And I promise, Sarah, promise, Emma will grow up knowing that. She'll grow up knowing she was loved fiercely, protected completely, even at the cost of your own life. That's what mothers do. We protect our children, no matter what. And when we can't be there, we pray someone else will be, someone who loves them, someone who won't give up, someone who will get on a plane and break down doors and fight like hell to bring them home. Emma is home now, and I won't let anything hurt her again. Promise.